Hi, welcome. It's Margaret Seconet, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to touch on a very popular, I would say, topic, and that is of career and jobs challenges. Okay, so sometimes we have difficulty in finding a right job or industry or excel in one that you're already in, and sometimes this can be traced back to your 八字, your natal chart, your astrological chart. But sometimes this can also be traced back to a problem with the house that you're now living in. So one of the most common causes of a career that's not flourishing, that's not taking off, or you're just languishing in it, is caused by the problem of a missing palace or palaces, because it's possible you can have more than one in your home. So we're talking about missing palaces or sectors, and this will actually clue you in to which industry or which type of job you cannot do as long as you are living in that particular property. You'll also have to keep in mind that this industry might not really be suitable for you based on your 八字 chart, okay? So it will make sense that, and might also explain that maybe there's a reason why you tended to actually choose this type of, this particular home to live in the first place. And a house that has this particular missing sector. Now there are different types of industries and jobs that are associated or represented by the 8 different directions of Enqua of the property. So if a palace is missing, it can indicate that perhaps you are in the wrong industry or job, or you're doing a job that is not really suitable for you. Okay. Now, if your career or job problems and challenges are not caused by having a missing sector in your property, then it is likely caused by something else. In that case, you'll need to carefully reevaluate the exact nature of your problem, of your career problem. And, if you guys are interested, I will tackle that subject in another video tutorial. Okay, so let's say, take for example, if you're missing the northwest sector or palace, which involves finance, money, fairness, and leadership, and you're a lawyer and trying to climb the corporate ladder to become a director of your company, the missing northwest palace of your home is clearly not going to support you in your goals and endeavors at work. Now, let's say here in this particular slide, you can see that this particular property is missing south and southeast palaces. So, like I said earlier, it doesn't mean that, you'll only be missing one sector or one palace. You might also be missing 2 palaces or 2 sectors in your property. So there is a chance that, if this actually happens, let's say jobs that actually need, let's say, public relations skill, which is the south sector, and the west, which is which covers the industry that needs the speaking skill, then these 2 areas should not be missing in your home if you're in that type of career or job. Okay. So what else? So what to do when you have a missing sector in your home? There are 2 ways or approaches to this problem. Either you use the offensive tactics, or you use the defensive tactics. It's like my other videos when I mentioned something about protecting or enhancing a particular sector. Now we're talking about an offensive tactic, which is to rectify the missing sector. Now, how can this be done? This can be done by building up that missing sector with walls and a roof, or in other words, by extending your home to include that missing palace. So once that area becomes part of your living space, then the problem is solved. It's rectified. Okay? Now, there are instances wherein it is not possible and the missing area is outside your home. Let's say you're living in a condominium, in a unit in a condominium complex, and your unit has a missing palace. Let's say like this particular slide, you can see that there is a particular area that's missing. Okay, so this might chances are this might fall outside your property boundary, or sometimes this is not possible to rectify by this offensive tactic, because building an addition may be too expensive or it's not in your budget. Then you must resort to the defensive tactic of an elemental enhancement or remedy, or in other words, enhancing the area where the missing palace is by adding more of the appropriate element. Okay, so in classical feng shui, using a cure can be regarded as a defensive tactic. You're not attempting to make progress, you're just trying to prevent things from getting worse. Now, elemental cures are used as a secondary approach in classical feng shui. Okay, so we try to evade, dodge, or the problem by not using that particular sector, or maybe the main door if it's in a negative sector right now with negative stars, or by staying out of a particular room. These are examples of the nuance and subtle application or approach of feng shui. Okay, so if an offensive tactic is not possible, then using an elemental cure is better than doing nothing to counter the negative energies of a problematic star. So this involves using objects made from the particular element that weakens the element of the negative star in the 5-element cycle. Okay, so what counts here is in terms of elemental cures in feng shui, in classical feng shui, is what the object is made of. Okay, again, what counts here is the material or what the object is made of. Okay, so then that will count as an elemental cure or enhancement. Okay, so for example, if you want to how do you call this? If you want to enhance the northwest sector, then you can use either metal or earth, but not the two together. Okay, you will not get the double effects, or you cannot get double the effects by using both elements at the same time. On the contrary, it might result in the qi being blocked by this type of clutter. So we want to keep things simple. You can use any items you like as long as they have the appropriate element. The elements of the objects are, again, what matters and what is important. They should also preferably be non-movable and sizable, so big and proportionate to the missing sector. Now, why is this the case? Why? Because these missing areas are typically outside of your home. Therefore, they need to be weatherproof. So if you're missing an area, then it's not part of your living space. So it's outside of your living space. So it's basically outside of your home. So therefore, they need to be weatherproof if they're going to be placed outside in the open. So these elemental cures or remedies should be placed outside of your living space in the missing sector. Okay. Now I have heard of other feng shui practitioners recommend elemental cures or remedies for missing sectors to be placed inside the property. Now this will make it difficult to remedy a sector beside it that might need elemental enhancement or remedying. So as I mentioned earlier, classical feng shui does not recommend using two elements at the same time, or in other words, making sure that only one element is used in a particular sector. Now, this will not be the case if you're also if you're applying the remedy inside the house, which to me does not really make sense, especially if the sector beside it would actually need to be remedied. Okay, let's say this year, the number 3 is in the east sector, and let's say you're missing southeast sector, so you would like to remedy the missing southeast sector, which is an wood element. And if you're doing that, it's best to just do it outside, okay? But if the recommendation is that you put it inside the property, inside your home, then what's going to happen if let's say if you put it in the east sector, then you're actually going to just be enhancing the number 3 at this time. So anyway, so this will be probably a topic for another day, and I just don't want to confuse you more with all these other details that is associated with that. But as I said, it's important, and I also did a short feng shui alert video on that particular subject of elemental remedies, and that is in classical feng shui. It is recommended that you only use one particular element when you're doing a remedy, when you're remedying a particular sector, okay, and not two elements. So if you're trying to use, like I said in my other video, if you're trying to use water, then you don't put earth, you don't put fire in it, you don't put wood in it. You might be able to add some metal, because metal produces water, but if you have too much of this of metal too, it will also create an out of balance of all the the energy in that sector. Okay, so anyway, I hope this clarify some of these questions that you have about missing sectors and what they might be doing to your career challenges. So if you're wondering if some of you are wondering why your career is not taking off, take a look again at your property. It might be because you do have a missing sector, and that missing sector might be the most important sector, that you need to actually pursue your career or to take off, to launch your career or your job or your business. Okay. So anyway, this is Margaret Seconet. I thank you for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. And I am coming up with other webinars and workshop. So what's in the work is this particular workshop here. It's called The Different Signs Your Home is Affected by Sha Qi. So there are several clues out there that actually might might actually suggest that your home is actually being affected by Sha Qi. Okay, so watch out for that. I will be posting that in the website, and please register for it when it's available. Okay, so it's Margaret saying bye bye for now, and thank you for watching.